I don't know how to do that. I have no idea. I've still got SJ on the phone. There we go. Down there with the Hello, good morning. We may or may not have sound. Do I need to back out and do you want need to check my mic? Bear with. The one day I wear a dress, right? Do we have sound now? Do we have anything? Anything? Is that all good? How are we doing? Can you hear me now? Sound is fine, Tash. Oh, good. What dress? So many alterations mean hitching up and rummaging around. I've had a tidy up, as you may or may not be able to see, which is pretty amazing. When I say I have a tidy up, 12 hours straight of tidying and organising. When we moved over a year ago, I sorted out the warehouse, but I never really sorted out my studio. Sorted out everybody else and then didn't sort out myself. So I was like, right, it's time. So, good morning. I'm almost tidy this morning. I know, I am amazed. But it just meant that I had to take out wires. So the reason that everyone's looking a little bit nervous is because I unplugged everything. And then by myself had to put everything back in the appropriate holes. You know those boxes, the wooden toys that you get for kids where you have to poke things through the right... It was like that, but an adult version with higher stakes. That's exactly what it was like. I'd also like to say that my clock is 7 minutes slow, which is what has also confused me today. Now, today, what are we making today? Today, I don't know how many more times I can say today. We've got, I'm going to call it the 50-50 collection because I was just going to make a bag. 50 velvet, 50. And then when you open it up, exactly the same. 50. Oh, that's where it went. I've been driving myself mad looking for that. And so this is my 50-50 bag. But then there was a bit left over. I don't want to put it in the scrap bin. So let's just make a little makeup bag or clutch bag or anything else. Again, 50 to go with it. So it gives you an excuse to use grommets. If you've got a grommet in your life, then get it out now. Fobs. If you've got fobs, if you've bought kits with us with tassels and fobs and things like that. But also, ooh, look at that. Gorgeous. So that goes with that. So if you are gifting, that is one pretty awesome giftable, I think. I've just got to remember how to make it because I started making this on Friday and then made it sporadically over the weekend. So if I can remember, hurrah. If I can't, boo, hiss. We'll pop that there so you can see what it is that we're making and remind me that I need a zip. Now, good morning to everybody. And here we go. Oh, why does it keep ending my session? Don't do that. And check that everybody is well. Let's do that, shall we? Turn down the volume, get on Facebook, and see where everybody is. Did you have a nice weekend? Here we go. Who have we got? We have got Karen and Jojo, good morning, and Marilyn, hello, and Pat and Ali G, good morning everyone. Can't wait to see the luxurious velvets. Well, we have beautiful new velvets. Joy's here, good morning, Natasha, good morning everyone. Syl's here, Jane's here. Our Jane isn't here, our Jane is in Mexico, possibly still at passport control apparently. Julia's here, good morning, Jan's here. She is, I thought you said painting with joy, panting with joy. I'm not going to ask. Craft Bits and Bob says, morning everyone. Sue's here. Sue N, Sue L. No, Jane, you are on holiday. Go away. I love you. I love you, Jane, but you are in Mexico. You did not go to Mexico to watch the show. No. But did you actually get to your hotel in the end? That's all we want to know. Oh, Jojo, poorly in bed, so able to watch for once. Well, I hope that you are feeling better very soon. Claire E is here. Good morning, all. And we have brand new velvets. Also, I do want to stress, we are a little bit behind with the orders, but don't worry, Wiz and I are going to catch that up in the next couple of days. Did you look at your Friday deals? And I've got all of the hardware in all the world for you, because one of the feedback that we keep getting is you keep making all these things. It requires tools and things. Can you please more of them? So I have. This is so exciting. I actually have now a spool holder that I can just walk to there. So a little bit of background for you. When we did the show at the NEC, a lot of you said, oh, it looks so homely. Yeah, because I bought a whole load of IKEA furniture, knowing that I wanted to re-kit out my studio so that I could have dedicated areas for filming, things for the subscription. So you're going to get some more love as soon as that machine arrives, because I've got a new machine arriving for that. So we'll have like a second studio for doing that. And then all sorts of other things. So that furniture had to come in and everything has had to be rearranged. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. There's that moment where before it's great, it's an absolute wreck. Yes. We will get there. But I'm finding homes for things. So if you see me just wander off and put it places, it's because I've gone, oh, I've actually got a home for that. This is very exciting. The team weren't here this weekend, obviously because Jane's in Mexico, Wiz was at home, and SJ was in Manchester. So, yeah, Wiz came in this morning and went, Josh went to watch the rugby, came back to find the piano in a completely different room, and various other pieces of large furniture moved around. A bit stiff and sore. Not going to lie, a little bit stiff and sore. Anyway, digress. I've got a parcel opener here. Do you want to see these new velvets? Do you? Come on then, let's have a little look at these new velvets. Oh, before we do, morning Laura, has your machine arrived yet? Has it? Right, before we, this is going to do my head in. Stop ending my session. Might just have to keep it on this page for a minute. Right. We have got beautiful new velvets, but also, I need to take this out of the packet. Did you see, this was a bit of a fabulous Friday deal. And a really lovely gift. If you've got a sewy friend, then look, do you remember the beautiful velvets that we did the velvety bags in the 30 centimetre tubular frame bags? These are the percale, the cotton percale. So you're getting a metre of William Morris fabrics here, and they're beautiful. They're sort of accompanying fabrics or just really discreet, lovely ones. And we have got those in a pack of 4 for not very much at all. We'll do something with those. Don't you worry. Right. Cork, you know where to find. That's no bother. But let's have a little look. Now that I've got all of my tools and stuff out of the way, let's start to have a bit of love for these brand new velvets that came. Oh my goodness me. Check these out. So these are available by the half metre if you buy more than continuous length. These are gorgeous. These are, do you know what? We went to a wedding reception on Saturday night, and the place was absolutely rammed and crowded, and Josh and I found ourselves sat on a velvet sofa. And I could see him doing this. Like, what are you doing? It's like, I think it's from the same company that do your velvets. Just made me laugh so much. It's like a year or so ago, he would have had absolutely no clue. But all of a sudden, he's like, yep, no, I think this is the same quality as your velvets. These are, to give you an idea, these wood cover sofas. You can dressmate with them, you can upholster with them. But the point is, they're polyester, but they are very, very hard wearing. Gemma, I think, sometimes writes in, there's a scale of like how many sits down before it wears out. Sit up, sit down, sit up, sit downs. There's a scale. But anyway, so these are on the hard wearing scale of velvets, is the point that I'm trying to make. I need to choose which to use today, and I want to use my navy handles, so I'm just auditioning. This might be a contender to see which ones I would like to use. My hammer tag there. So that's one. Oh, well, this is rather splendid. They just feel so utterly, utterly gorgeous. Could I use my navy handles here as well? What would they? Yeah, they wouldn't look too shabby either. Quite like the idea of that. Although with that blue, I've used tan a lot, you see. So we've got a couple of different scales of pattern here. So these are the smaller scale ones. And then, and I've got this in, let me show you this in two different colours. So I've also got it in that gorgeous creamy colour. Ooh, oh, that would be rather nice, wouldn't it? That's a bit spesh. A bit spesh. Oh, but that one's got butterflies. And then, obviously, because I'm me, I had to get eek. So we've got, in this particular pattern, we've got three different colours. You've got the tealy colour, you've got the dark colour. And I just remember seeing the samples for these and going, well, I just need all of them because they're all rather beautiful. And that will work an absolute treat. Oh, YouTube is a hive of activity this morning. We've got Sarah W. says, good morning, Natasha. Jane's here. Morning, Tash. Sarah can hear me loud and clear. Oh, it's the Martindale score is 50,000 rubs. There you go. So if you just go for lunch with your bag, you're going to be all right. Oh, Tricia says it's chilly in Liverpool. Ginny says morning from sunny Essex. Tanya, good morning. Hope you're having a good day. Blodwen's here. Good morning from a sunny Devon. And Ivan is here. Good morning, everyone. There we go. So the Martindale score is the number of times a fabric can be rubbed with sandpaper or wool discs before it shows any signs of wear, such as thinning, pulling or fluffing. 50,000 rubs. So I'm going to suggest that this is going to be okay as a handbag. You know, it's a lot of rubs. So we've got 1, 2, 3 colourways for that particular fabric. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. And then for this one, I went with the pink because it's fabulous. But also, how about it in that lovely, lovely deep blue as well? Oh, hang on. Handle's going to look good in that as well. Oh, nice. Yes, they jolly well will. Okay, so the fabric that I made my sample from is this one, which is just regal and striking and fabulous. But are you ready? Because it comes in 2 colourways. And I couldn't decide. Oh, actually, look. They would look rather fabulous too. So, the doctor bag, the I'm Not a Doctor, would look amazing in this as well. You'd need a meter. Would also look incredible. We are going to look at and investigate today how to bond velvet, because I know it puts a lot of you off, and a lot of you will just sew based, which is absolutely fine with some of the bags. That works a treat, obviously. But if we want to use this with cork, which then means, guys, that with your leftovers, you can be doing things like our glasses case that we had last week. Imagine this, all velvet lined. So that, I mean, I did mine with, I've done this one with brushed cotton and one with velvet. I gave the velvet one away and it has been such an incredible gift. The person I gifted it to, every time I see them, they have it with them and they really, really love it. And it cleans their glasses lens every time they put it in. So, but in order to do that, we've got to bond this to our cork. Okay. And this has become possible for us. Two things that I've brought for us. They're going to make this easy. Okay. Just love these. I love them all. This is one of them. For yourself. I have one on mine which made me think, actually, do you know what? This is what is making the difference. Whoops. So this, mine came with it, so I didn't even need to worry about it. But this, got one of those, just goes round of your handle, and you've got here, that goes into the, this is really hot, this is on, so, and it already has one on, so it's not really going to work showing you. Let me get this open for you. But this is what's made the difference in applying heat, because in the past, when I've, there you go. So you put the toe in there and then that'll go over the top. But it gives you a protective layer so that that heat is not directly onto your velvet. I need you to test this on a little sample before you go crazy. But it's what has been working for me. Okay, and obviously if you're using other velvets that you haven't bought from us, I've used these on our velvets. If you're using them with other velvets, again, you're going to have to test this. I feel like I'm in a bit of a trial and error phase at the moment. So just trying to work out what works and what doesn't. You intermittently sound... Okay, good. A bit robotic apparently. Soz everyone. Okay, so let's have a look at hardware, because I've got many kits in all the world. And guys, did you see dressmaking scissor set? You've got pinking shears and you've got dressmaking scissors from Trimmits for, Gemma, did this come in the end at £9.99? It shouldn't have. It should have been £17.99. But I think we did it on a crazy, crazy, crazy deal for you. Everyone needs pinking shears. They are notoriously hard. I know that everyone will say, oh, you sharpen them with tin foil. I've never found that. This would be great either for yourself or it means that you can relegate your old pinking shears to the children, because it's that time of year. Oh, £9.99. The message reads from Gemma, yes, £9.99, which is bonkers. We may or may not have had a slight difference of opinion on that. It's fine. £9.99 for those, and away you go. Happy days. Let's look at what I've got for you today. So we've talked grommet. grommets, okay? And we had a set for grommets and it's sold out. I have got a 12mm grommet set here. That's a 14 colours. This is a 12mm set. And this has got, oh no, am I ever going to be able to put this back? This has got the cutting and your tools for inserting. Whoops, there we go. So I'm going to have to very carefully wrap all of this back up. And this all comes in its own little carry case, which I'm really regretting now opening at all. But if you want that, then this is your 12mm. The ones we had the other day were 10mm, which is great. Sometimes you need a little bit bigger. Right, put those back in there. There are your other sets there. And somehow these will all fit in here, apparently. Yay! We'll give it a bit of a wiggle and a jig. Oh no, it does. There we go. So if you would like 12mm, there they are. They're your 12mm sets. 14mm. And of course, these are going to be perfect for dog poo bag holders, today's make, all sorts of different things. You've got different colours in here. You've got gold, gunmetal, antique, silver. So you've got all of those, and you have got your tools as well. Obviously, it's going to be slightly more expensive because you've got all of those different sizes in. Well, you've got all the different colours. This is 14mm, that's 12mm. But then you've got the tools for both. Honestly, I've got all my tools now laid out in different boxes, all labelled. It's been a work of great OCD. Rivets! So, going absolutely crazy for our handmade with love. I just think it makes such a difference to a make. It's like, yeah, that's a nice little make. And I really love that. So we've got more tags in for you because I've sold out for the third or fourth time. But these are 6mm rivets, and it's a really cute little pack which is sealed. I can't get in it. But you've got 6mm rivets in antique, gunmetal, silver and gold, plus your tools there. Just add a hammer. And that's perfect for this sort of thing. And also for the smaller makes that we've had, that's a bit overkill, isn't it, with those? But with like your coin purse and stuff like that, having a small rivet in there is so much more. So they're perfect for the smaller cork makes that we've had. They work an absolute treat. An absolute treat there. So they are a handy little kit to have, and they come in a little packet, which makes me very happy. Also, back in stock, because we cannot keep these in stock. They just fly. This kit here has got different size rivets in. So different colours, different sizes, and it comes with a hammer. Obviously, there's a price difference because you're getting a lot more with this. I think they're £11.99 and this is basically 20 quid. So, right, and then the last one to show you before you choose which one is which, but then you've always got the right size with that one. Decisions, right? Sorry, I've got paint all over my cutting mat. And last but by no means least, someone asked for a kit that had everything, and here we go. So in this, you have got your rotating punch. You've got a ruler. You've got a hammer. If I had a hammer. You have got your different size, well, you've got one for rivets and one for snaps, because in this bit here, you have got rivets and then snaps. So the way to know which one is which is when you come to put in your snaps, that pointy bit goes up into the snap to hold its shape. That's your snap one. Okay. So I'd keep them in the little packet and I would almost label that snaps. But you've got instrucciones, which shows you exactly how to use it, which is great. So yeah, you've got hammer, snap, rivets, all the stuff in a box. I'm living in a box. We're going to have to do a toolbox, aren't we, at some point for all of these. So they are your hardware choices. It's a hardware choice, isn't it, to know which one to do today. So let's see what Gemma's saying to me. Oh, Gemma thought the Trim It Scissor Duo would be a lovely set for someone new to sewing too. Gemma's getting one for her goddaughter. And Laura was asking how it went to Highlight Crafts. It went really well. I mean, it's been, going to be honest, it has been completely bonkers, all of it. As you can imagine, so bear in mind, we have been at either Hochanda or Create and Craft from the get-go of Natasha Makes, so for 4 years. And so when I buy stock in, I buy it in knowing that I'm buying it for you here, but also for Create and Craft. So when that suddenly stopped, not only was I left owed money, but also with a whole load of stock that we won't just sell here at Natasha Makes. It needs a second avenue for selling. So Highlight Craft, Steph and I had been talking for some time about me going, because she's got her own fabric range, for me going and working with them, doing some stuff with her Lemon Lane. So we'd already been talking about all of this before Create and Craft started looking really iffy. We just went, so when we realised what was happening, we went all out and just sorted it. I love Steph. She works very much like me in terms of when she decides to do something, she just goes and does it. My team don't always love it when I work like that, but it does mean that stuff gets done. So yeah, so it was really lovely. And the funny thing is that a lot of the team I worked with when Create and Craft, when I first started at Create and Craft nearly 10 years ago. So there are a lot of faces that I recognise. So it's not like really being the newbie. Sometimes it's slightly strange because suddenly Mel is my presenter and I used to be her presenter, and we've done loads. Like you do a double take going, it's sort of deja vu, but a bit weird. But it's okay. So no, and they're just such a lovely bunch. And there's integrity there. They're hard work. Such a lovely team. Remind me of mine. Remind me of my team. Yeah, all was well. Thank you very much, Laura. I'm not sure you wanted such a long answer, but you got it anyway. Right. I'm clearing the desk because we're going to talk about these ear velvets. Okay. Now. I've gone robotic again. Right. Let's do this. I have got new wires. Might be worth switching something before you get into the demo. Do you know what I'm going to do in that case? I'm not going to switch, but I will I'll leave that. That's my Madonna. Thank you for calling Natasha Makes. How may I help you? Headset. And I'm absolutely not going to have that today. Right. It might just be when I bend over. So, with your silicone foot on your machine, this make, if you're going to the effort of, I might actually just spin this around. Oh no, we've got enough space. Always good to get these issues when you are wearing a frock. Yes, thank you, Gemma. How often do I wear a frock? And when have I ever called it a frock? A frock. I don't know. Let's finish the coffee. Oh my gosh, I did laugh. I bought something the other day. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I buy online, I get epic fails. Now, I love octopus, as you can see from my mug. It's got an octopus on it, and we've got the octopus with all the lights on. We've got all sorts of octopuses, and Gemma bought me an octopus to keep my glasses on. And I thought I was buying a cup holder, like a mug holder, with this octopus with these great big tentacles. And it arrived. It was this big. Like, what am I going to do with that? What do I do with that? That's not what I ordered. Just ridiculous. Right. 1/2 metre cork. We've got some little mini silicone mats actually, which are also great for this. Here we are. Right. And then your heat and bond. From your heat and bond, you will do 2 lots of this, by the way, because you are getting 1 metre. So we're just going to layer it all up. La 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 la. And then, we need to choose our velvets. Where do we go? Oh, let's go with this. Should we do this one? Because it goes with my, then I can use my, just talking to myself. Don't mind me. So we are layering up all 3 items. I tried this with Ultra Bond. The best results that I have got, which is why I'm using it, is the heat and bond. Now, I am expecting a lot more of it in because we sold so much of it at the NEC. Oh, this is the wobbly first off 1/2 metre. One of my favourite memories of Meg's childhood is her being not dissimilar in age to Mims and her reading a book to me. The jellyfish stuns its prey with its long, poisonous, sounds like tentacles. Not quite. Yes. We all have that. Yep. So, 2 ways you can do this. And that is, I'm going to go in, because I've got my foot on, my silicone foot, it seems to be okay. Do I put on a little bit of steam? If I'm going to put a little bit of steam, oh, so now Gemma can't think of anything about that. Excellent. I now can't see anything because of the steam. If you're going to apply steam, please do so gently. I almost hover my iron. And please go in the direction of the nap. We are going probably against all manufacturers, what have yous, with all of this. But if it works, it works. And it does appear to work. So I tend to do it lightly to start off with, and then later on we can come back in with a little bit more. Let me just move that over to there. So cork right side down. Then, and I cut my heat and bond into that 1/2 inch strip. Full length of it, guys, full length of it, because these are all the same length. And you're going to use all of it. And then with what you've got left over, you see, so look, that's starting, there you go, that's bonded it beautifully. And as long as, let me just change this across. so that you can see. It's convinced that my session is ending this morning, and it's really not. We are just getting going. So as long as you go in the direction of the nap. What do I mean by a nap? Not something I like to have in the afternoon. If you see, if I move it that way, can you see it changes the colour? That's going against the nap. It sort of brushes it up. You know when someone ruffles your hair the wrong way? It's that. So go in line with the nap. And I have found that to work. Okay? Try it a little bit first. I think the key here is the silicone pressing foot. Just means that you glide across this. And so that seems to be the key. And I would do the whole half metre. Honestly, the whole width, the whole shebang. Honest. Now, if you have got our Teflon pressing sheet, then that's going to stop anything from sticking onto your table. But then you have got, like I say, you're going to have enough to either do that little purse. So the instructions for this are slightly more because you're getting 2 makes effectively in one. And when I say more, they are £2 more to get a whole second make. Will someone shout me at 11 and we can have a minute's silence, please? For 'tis the 11th today, isn't it? Right. So hopefully that will have done it. So as you can see, it doesn't take long necessarily to do, but it is absolutely worth doing. And then here it is. Which is great. So, and now I've got to try and remember, what size did I cut everything to? I can't actually remember. Bear with me, caller, while I just go back and have a little look at my instructions so that I can actually do my demo. I told you, didn't I? Just, I could not remember anything. Cut 2 pieces. There we go. Where's my big ruler? So we're going to cut 2 pieces. There we go. I fussy cut a little bit with mine. With this one, you are not going to need to. Use my cutting mat for this, so I'm going to cut 20 inches across. Now we've only given this a light dusting with the iron, so it might be that you will need to go in and just reinforce a little bit of that, and then we are going to cut this in half again. Okay, but before we do that, let's trim off that. Because I've been cautious at the edges, because look, one overhangs what I do, I might just go back in and give them a little press. Going to have some beautiful scraps, aren't we, by the way? What am I doing with my scraps? See, I reckon you could get quite a lot of little projects out of that. Right, so that is one side. And we're going to cut 2 of those. Because obviously we need a front and a back, right? This is not rocket science. And then trim it down. I'm going to trim a little bit more off there because actually my heat and bond didn't quite go all the way to the end there. The cork and the velvet were cut slightly more generously than that. But this is what I mean. So cut them, and then if you need to go in, and you need to add anything in extra to it, then do. If you need to apply any more heat, then do. But don't be afraid of this. It's a really, really, really lovely project and very different, I think. If you have got gum track account, so your velvet and your cork don't fray. Okay, so you don't have to have a leather edge coat, a leather edge paint, but it looks really smart if you do. That's all I'm going to say. It does look really smart if you do, which is great. So now we've got our front and our back. We've got front and back. That's absolutely perfect. And then I want... How wide is that? Ooh, not quite wide enough. I'm going to take another little strip for the base. And then we'll have all of this left over for our second make. Okay. So that there, we can turn into that. We'll pop that to one side for now. I just love these velvets. Just love them. Absolutely love them. Right. I've been very specific on how wide this needs to be. I'm sure I did maths at some point. Okay, so here's where we are. Let me change the camera angle for you. When it tells me my session has ended, I need to get my iPad back on the thing, don't I? So we've got a base and we've got a front and a back. Now obviously something needs to happen now to the front and the back. So we're going to cut these in half. Now you see, if you've got this occurring, either you haven't, yeah, that's just going to need a little bit of extra heat. And that's absolutely fine. So you might just want to go back through and make sure that you've got everything properly aligned. Your gum trachanth, if you want to use that, is a lovely one for this make. But But whilst I'm there, I am just going to check. Whee! Do this with my glasses off, that everything is nice and secure. In a minute, you're going to sew around everything and you'll be absolutely fine. But until we do so, it's nice to have Now, when we have O'Deal's velvets, this is what I mean by with these ones, I know that I've tried it and we can do it, okay? With O'Deal's velvets, I never tried it with a silicone foot, but it did not work well applying a heat like this. So these ones are, like I say, they are upholstery. So they are really tough velvets. So just double checking that I've got everything, because I did do a bit of a quick job just trying to get it on and together. Okay, now we can get on with the making. And of course, this is a bit of tree. So it's just going to pass through. Bark is, which is effectively what this is quite used to getting wet. So it is all fine, absolutely fine. We are going to apply tape either on this end or here and then flip it one onto the other, okay? Now you can overlap it by anything really up to 1/2 inch. And that's why there's a little bit of wiggle room written into the instructions for the end sort of product, if you will, when you do your bottom, your bag bottoming. I'll show you, it will make sense. So let's align that and then let's flip this. And like I say, anything up to kind of 1/2 inch overlap works great. We're going to do that with both. Okay, so just as long as you're happy that everything is nicely aligned, we're all good. These are just lovely, aren't they? Look at all those butterflies. Really, really stunning. And the beautiful thing is that the integrity of the cork and the velvet means that there's no need for any additional interfacing. So you've saved yourself money there immediately. And then, come on, tape. But it gives it a really beautiful shape, because we're not going to turn this inside out. We're going to do this from sewing from the outside. Okay. So just check that you've overlapped them kind of the same amount. You can always trim them back if you haven't. But you can see I'm just aligning, making sure that everything is where I want it to be. Yes, it is. So top and front and back are the same. And then we're going to run 2 lines of stitches, okay, down here. If you have got, I would absolutely put that on, okay. No problem at all. If not, don't worry, you will get through it. It does help if there's any moisture. It helps if you just let that dry We don't have time for such things. So we are just going to go straight in and stitch. What I would suggest you do is start actually on. Hang on. Is start actually on the plugs and all sorts here. Start on it and then stitch back off it. Otherwise you'll have that thing where the foot sort of grunts onto it. And then away you go. Now you can see I'm just feeding this gently through. I don't have, let me move that out of the way. I don't have a walking foot on, and yet we are doing okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with a really close stitch. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. What am I doing? I meant to reverse. Oh. So I went in with 1/4 of an inch and now I'm coming down with like 1/8 of an inch. So I've almost used that first line of stitching just to baste, and I'm just reinforcing now with the second one, and we are good. Let's do exactly the same with the other one. So start on it, 1/4 of an inch, and reverse off it. So a couple of stitches on it, reverse off it, and then away we go. Because otherwise you might just buckle slightly. Not buckle, pucker. But you can see I am just holding this. I'm not eking and pulling or doing anything. I'm just letting the machine take it through at its own pace. And then we'll do another one here at about 1/8 of an inch. Just to hold everything tight. If you are using a leather edge, you will have done your long outer edges first. Okay, so we can see so far so good. This isn't tricky. If you want to, like somehow I've managed to just get slightly off there, but again, it really is not the end of the world. You just want the join to be nice and smooth. That's all. So if you do need to trim back at all, then that's absolutely fine. But also bear in mind where that join is, you will also end up with a magnet going over there. So if you just need to knit anything, do so now. And this is why we don't edge the top and the bottom until we've got everything nice and trimmed and lined, and we're happy that everything is where we want it to be. There we go. So at this point, we then are going to top stitch across both tops. We don't want to do that once it's sewn together because of how we're going to sew it together, if that makes any kind of sense. Just watch, bear with. This isn't a difficult make. This comes together now really quite quickly. But I just love the different textures. So we're just going to top stitch. If you have got a seam gauge and you want to, it just means that you can whiz through it nice and quickly, and it means that your top stitch is going to be exactly where you want it to be. Now, I know a lot of you don't like to use seam gauges with a computerized machine. Have a little look. All I'd say is have a little look on my Facebook page, because at the NEC, Dukey had on their stand the most amazing thing, which was a perspex case on one of their machines, so you could see exactly what was underneath. I've just done the bottom of this, haven't I, not the top? Well done me. Looking at it going, that butterfly is flying the wrong way. Let me spin that around so that I actually do the top of it. Goodo. And so, yeah, so if anybody has been put off using a seam gauge because it's magnetic and they've got a computerized machine, there isn't anything computerized underneath that bit. Certainly not on my machine. But again, do your own research for your machine. Okay. So we've got front and back done. So now we will find, and you can mark if you want with a marker or whatever. This is going to be the base. And again, so the inside of your bag is going to be velvet lined, which I just think is rather gorgeous. So we'll put a line of tape top and bottom. Don't know what I've done with the other mic. So this line off here, enter it on here. And we're going to stitch that down in place. So same again, I would go in with 1/4 of an inch and then come back in with a top stitch closer to the edge. So one just sort of helps hold it in place. But you want that really close top stitch for neatness so that it doesn't sort of hang away. But you can see, I mean, I'm just 2 fingers taking this through. I'm not having to wrestle my machine with this at all. That's not how this works. Because quite frankly, that would not be all the fun. And then here, we're going to take off. Hello. Oh, 11 o'clock. Right, here we go. we're almost at 11 o'clock, so we will just have, when my phone turns to 11, we'll just have a moment of quiet. There we go. It's strange, you know. My a lot of you know my granddad just recently passed away. Gosh, 10 days ago now, and he wrote his memoirs, and he was a teenager during the war, and I guess we are getting to the stage where there are now very few people left who remember the Second World War, and yeah, got to be honoured. And those, you know, who are still out there. Yeah, lots of gratitude for them. Right. One face, the base. We're going to sew that back in place as well. You might want to just roll this so that you've got space under your machine, which might look a little bit strange, but it honestly, it does help just to have that there to roll. And then come back and then just top stitch. And what that second line of stitching is doing is just keeping everything really tight and really close. There's something catching as soon as I get to there. Because it's flowing through, as soon as it catches on anything on this end of the desk, I should really have put a bigger thing up. Okay, so we're looking like this. Now, before we sew everything together, because we are nearly done here. If you want to put on a handmade tag or anything like that, now might be your time to do that. Just bear in mind that your centre is somewhere in there, so you can either centre it by eye, or it might not be quite centre. This is why you want your punch. I putting these in with rivets rather than screws because it gives me that little flash of metal, which I really, really love. Now, here's the thing. What colour shall we go for? Should we go silver? Should we go silver? Make it really quite smart. And again, if you've got any of our rivet sets or anything like that, especially like this one, you've got all the different sizes. So we're going to put the long end in from underneath. These are cap rivets, which means that you can pop the little cap on before you hammer it, which is great because it then holds everything in place. It's funny, isn't it, how just making an initial investment into your rivet sets and stuff like that will just up your game massively with this, because already just putting that little bit of silver hardware on there just makes it look really smart. Blodwin just says, thank you for your respect, Natasha. It's not that, you know, people have paid the ultimate price for us. And absolutely, it's the very least that we can do. I know that Lo's other half marched in London at the weekend. You know, he's served for years and years and years. And I just, when I was, 7, 8, I was a day girl, but at a boarding school, and a girls' boarding school, and there were so many army kids there, and just seeing the stress that they went through because, you know, their dads or whatever were away. It's 2 minutes silent just doesn't even feel enough, to be honest. Anyway. Let's some little clips. Clip in place and then sew 1/4 of an inch down both sides. Just got a little bit there. So I'm going to match up my sides, and just if you've gone wonky at any point, match the tops, because that's the bit that you'll see. So match those tops together. The bottoms we're going to box and trim anyway, so don't panic about that bit. So we'll do this side first, and then we'll spin it round and do the other one. So again, starting on there, on it. Forwards and then come back off it. And then when you come back onto it, you're good. You might want to lengthen your seam allowance. Not lengthen your seam allowance, lengthen your stitch length. If you've got a walking foot, bring it out now if you wish. So now we'll do the same on the other side, matching these tops. Worst case, you can always trim it back, but okay, so we're going to then trim down there. Oh, I keep stopping to stroke it because it feels so nice. So forward a couple of stitches, then back, and then forward. So not only is that reinforcing the top of my bag, but it is also just making sure that everything is held together nicely. There we are. Okay, so then we're here. Now, it's a little bit uneven there where I've trimmed back before. Doesn't matter. Do not worry about that because we're going to box the bottom. Okay, so if you are a little uneven there, don't stress or panic about it. You've got a straight edge here to sew across. So we're going to use that as our guide. We're going to sew straight across there. Okay. Again, starting on it, off it, on it again. Probably cut, can you see? I'll grab myself a pair of sharp scissors, bear with me. So you can see, that's fine, it's a bit wonky donkey. You can either trim it back with one of your rulers, or you can go at it with a pair of scissors. In fact, I might just go at it with a nice sharp ruler. Ba-da-ba. And then you've got a nice straight edge there. So then if you want to put some edge coat or anything on there, then you've got a nice straight edge. And I would far rather that you did that than panic and stress about have I got everything absolutely perfect. These can be a movable feast. They can be adjusted and that's absolutely fine. So again here, I'm slightly off there. Am I going to stress about it? Absolutely not. Am I going to make sure that I've got a clear run of things there? Yes, I am. And I think those of you that have worked with my patterns in the past know that there is always, always, always going to be a little workaround that, because with the best will in the world, none of us are 100% accurate all of the time. And everybody's seam allowances are going to be slightly different, you know. So I'd rather give you a way to make it perfect after you've sewn it than for you to stress about that. So let's just then trim that back. And then if you are using an edge coat paint, then you're good to edge that. And that is the main bulk of the bag made. How amazing is that? If you want to put in feet, then you can. If you want to do any of that, then you can. I have got my fold over magnetic clasps due in any day in silver. And of course I didn't think about that when I went and put this in silver. But so I will put a magnetic fold over clasp in there when the silver one comes in. But now let's have a look. So handles. Let's talk handles. I'm going to get... Now, you've seen me use Chicago screws an awful lot, and I like to use a Chicago screw, well, quite a lot, quite frankly. But on this one, I am going to use a rivet, because these come with rivets. And I don't want you to think that, you know, the hardware is no good. The hardware is good, so I'm going to use my rivets. And what I am going to do... Here we go, here's a pen, is come down, mark it from 2.5. I like to come in then a little bit further. So I then come in, another 1/2 inch, and I do put my handles on a little bit of an angle. Okay, so I've marked that. Again, from this side. And I come in, 1/2 inch, which I can measure off on my board. And somebody said to me when I was at Highlight, why did you do that? Why do you do that? Well, because if I just show you, it's the shape the handle's going to make anyway as soon as you pick it up. And if you've got it square on like that, it puckers the bag. Whereas if you just put it at a slight angle, then the outer bag is just going to sit nice. That is personal preference. If you want them square on, you put them square on. Absolutely not going to argue with anyone on this point at all. Because at the end of the day, it is simply personal preference. I'm going to pop a little clip in there and there. Because this is the other beautiful thing, is that I can now just go in and I can punch through both sets of holes. Front and back. Inserting all these things much quicker. Down. If you don't have one of those, grab one. I don't think we're going to have time to do the other make today, but we will find a time to do it and get those grommets on the go. But as you can see, this is super quick and easy make. Looks rather fabulous. Now, the nice thing about when you do just use your normal ones is that you can pop them in. And I will pop every camera in afterwards. And with these sets, you get all the different widths of shank, length of shank rather. 3, 4, but if you've ever had one go a bit wonky donkey, you might be using a shank that's too long. Or the other thing is to make sure that you put the long side onto the round bit that you hammer onto. So you hammer in the bit that clips on. So you see this, I put the long shank bit on there, then that will sit in there. And then hammer in there. And there you go. That's the bag. Made, done, beautiful. Now, the thing that I would say, okay, let's put the other things in here. What would I say? I don't know what I would say. I think that we will do the other half of this make tomorrow. And we're going to have a little look at tin cloth tomorrow. Should we do that tomorrow or should we do it Wednesday? See, Jane's May, so you've got me for 3 shows this week. For she's in Mexico. So with our leftovers tomorrow, we will, where's the hole? There it is. Yeah, we'll make that and another little make. We'll do 2 things tomorrow. 2 quick things. We do like a nice quick make, especially because we're heading towards Christmas. Imagine having these made for Christmas, for loved ones, as a set, beautiful, just as a handbag alone. I really love it. It's big and roomy and different. And although it's made with incredible velvet fabric, it is a very hard wearing one, which is pretty special. People will stroke you, by the way, just so long as you don't mind being slightly stroked, then we're all good. Yeah, you might just have to move it off your under handles. There we go. But that is today's bag and body. Is it the silver rivets that come with the handles? They're kind of come with the handles. Let me show you. Hang on, I've got a packet over here. Yeah, they are. They're kind of a darkish silver. I've used a slightly larger head size, but they are silver that come with it. Yes. Yes. There we go. So that is today's make. And I rather love it. It's really roomy. It's really roomy. And you don't, I mean, look, I've put a fold over magnet there, which are due in any day. And that always gives it that shape. There's nothing filling that one, by the way. But it holds its shape. It's lightweight, durable, holds its shape. You can wipe it down, no bother at all. And it's just something a little bit different. That's the thing. So tomorrow we will make the other half of it, which is this one here. So get your grommets. Get your grommets on the go for that. Oh, it's so pretty. And then obviously you can make all your glasses, cases to match, or whatever else it is that you want to make out of what scraps you've got left over. You could do my fold over nail file. That would be a really easy one to do as well. So lots of options for you there. There you go, everybody. Grab your hardware. I think that's the key. Grab your hardware, get your beautiful velvet. The other thing I thought is gifting velvet drawstring bags. These velvets will be so gorgeous. So the drawstring bags that we did last week will work so beautifully with the velvets. And because it doesn't fray, You're not going to have to turn under and turn under for the hem. They are the navy handles that we've got there. I could have used a tan pair. We've only got a handful of, we've got navy, we've got tan. That's what the tan would have looked like. Give it a bit of a different look. I would black, and that's it. That's all we've got on the handle front. I am due another. I import these, and they're just the size that fit thing for me at the moment. They're the ones that went on the waxed shopper as well. So they're sort of, because they're affordable, and I really like that. Of course, you could make your handle out of the cork. There's always that option too. We've done that in the rivet handle bag. That shows you how to make your own cork handles. So you've got that option there too. So that is it from me today. Tomorrow we'll make the other half of this little collection here. So we'll make from whatever you've got left over. I've left the sizings for you to choose. That sounds scary, but it's really not. It's very well explained, because some of you will have fussy cut, some of you will have left. But you can size it up, size it down. It's start looking at tomorrow. Take care. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you ever so much for shopping with us. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.